Motivation comes from only two places, ladies and gentlemen. And this morning, this motivational morning, we're going to talk about where those two places are and where you can find the motivation you need in your life. Good morning, good motivational morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, and thank you to all my subscribers. And if you're new here, I am Chase Corrington, and this is the Chase Corrington YouTube channel, where we seek to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment, where we seek to discover the hidden mysteries of our reality and the hidden wisdom of the ages. Ladies and gentlemen, two places only where motivation comes from. But first, let's talk about what is motivation. Motivation, ladies and gentlemen, we all need some motivation. I agree. I would say if you're somebody who has a goal, has something you want to accomplish, then you might already be creating some motivation for yourself, or be thinking to yourself, I need some motivation to help me accomplish what it is I'm setting out to do. Now, motivation is the desire to act and move toward a goal. So we want to build that desire to act. We want to build that desire to move toward our goals, ladies and gentlemen. And there's two places where we can find this desire, where we can find this will, if you will, where we can find this want to move toward, to move in the direction of our dreams, in the direction of whatever goal it is. It could be simple. Maybe it doesn't have to be as big as your dreams. There's two places. Can you guess? Leave it down in the comments below if you've already guessed what those two places are. The first one, ladies and gentlemen, is external. External. We can find motivation from sources outside of ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, extrinsic sources of motivation. And so, ways to create motivation in your life is by setting goals. Ladies and gentlemen. Why does this create motivation? Because if we know what it is we want to do, if we write it down, take time to write it down, because that plays on your intention. And so if you use your intention on paper, create a goal, this is what I want to do, it helps you create that motivation within yourself. Sometimes we'll use people to motivate us, situations. A lot of times, and it's unfortunate, a lot of times we wait till we're in a tough situation, we're in a hard situation, we're struggling with something. A lot of times we wait till then to find our motivation, and that's usually when we find ourselves stressed out, upset, and struggling through things, because we waited to find our motivation for what we want to do until we were struggling. And this is so unfortunate that it's probably the most common way that people get motivated, motivation through suffering. But motivation is the desire to act and move toward a goal. So if you want to create this desire to move toward a goal, you have to create the goal. And not only have it in your mind, but setting goals, which means planning past the alarm clock, right? 5 a.m. I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. tomorrow. And then what? And then 5 a.m. comes around and you go, snooze. You snooze the alarm clock, and we don't find the motivation we need because we haven't set down what it is we need to do, what it is we're going to do to accomplish our goals, ladies and gentlemen. So, external is one of the ways we can find our motivation. I'm betting with that way to find our motivation, you're probably already guessing the other way, which is internal. Inside ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, is the other place we find our motivation, and this is most important. Finding a way to cultivate motivation from within yourself. And we can do this. We can do this by the same setting goal strategy, but rather taking ownership over it and not waiting till, the situation is desperate to force our desire to a high enough level for us to actually start taking action with our goals. Rather, we should start planning these goals beforehand. Empower ourselves. If we find motivation from external sources, ladies and gentlemen, we can lose our sense of confidence, our self-empowerment. When we become dependent on external sources, when we become dependent on our motivation coming from, sources outside of ourselves, we can lose our sense of confidence. We can lose our self-empowerment when we become dependent on our motivation coming from outside of ourselves. So if we're going to find our motivation inside ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, if we're going to find our motivation in here and not depend on the rest of the world to give it to us, because if we're depending on the rest of the world to give it to us, when the rest of the world stops giving it to us, we're not going to have any way to motivate ourselves. And we're not going to have any motivation to move in the direction we want to move in, to start doing whatever it is, start living our dreams, to start building the life we want to live, and, start moving in the direction of our desires, our wants. And so, if we're going to find our motivation inside ourselves, remind yourself why first. Remind yourself why it is, where this desire comes from. Why you want to move in the direction you want to move in. Why do you want to accomplish the goal that you have? And when you remind yourself of that why, it will bring back into you that sense of excitement. Because the excitement and the drive is key to finding this motivation inside yourself. So you create your goal, right? You write it down. And then you ask yourself why. Why this goal? What do I want? Write that down. And what makes you excited about this? And even if it's something, sometimes goals are things that we don't really want to do. But even if your goal is something that you don't necessarily want to do, there's still a why and a reason to get excited. Because if something is a goal, even if you don't want to do it because it's a arduous task or whatever, if you get excited about this goal and remind yourself of your why, then you may remember the end result that you're actually going for, which could give you reason to go through the arduous task that is required. But you have to have a strong enough why, ladies and gentlemen. And so, remind yourself of your why first, and then stay consistent with your goals by asking yourself, number one, and there's going to be 5 things here. Pull out your pen and paper and take notes here, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, remind yourself of your why. Increase your excitement by reminding yourself of the end result of your desire, of your goal, regardless of what it takes. Stay consistent. Now, number 1, win. So remember, back to the alarm clock. 5 a.m., I'm going to do what I need to do. Then 5 a.m. comes around, you hit snooze. So win past the alarm clock. Plan past the alarm clock, ladies and gentlemen. So when are you going to do what you need to do? Number 2, where are you going to do what you need to do? So when, where. Remind yourself of your why. When, where, why, how. No. When, where. 3, how. So you can skip the why because that goes before all of this. When, where, how are you going to do what you need to do? And write all these down. And when you write these down, it implements your intention. Implementation of intention. And I'm telling you, science shows that over 95% of the time when you write down when and where and how you're going to do what you need to do, 95% of the time you end up doing it. And that's just what studies show. I'm not here to prove that. I'm here to give you some ways that you can build motivation to accomplish the goals you have in your life, ladies and gentlemen. If you're getting value from this, smash the like. If you get value from this channel, consider subscribing, and we're going to continue on here. So number 1 was when. Number 2 was where are you going to do what you need to do. Number 3 is how are you going to go about what it is you need to do. Number 4 is how long. You got to plan how long it's going to take, ladies and gentlemen, for you to do what you need to do. And then last but not least, this is very important, number 5 is a backup plan. And remember writing this down. Have your backup plan written down. What am I going to do if, say you're trying to work out, and say you don't have the time you need to work out. And so, I can't meet my goal. Motivation gone. No. If you have a backup plan, and you're reminding yourself of your why, and you know when, where, how long, and the backup plan. With the backup plan, you can make an adjustment to any of the other steps if necessary. When something goes awry, when something messes up in the original 4-part plan. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about intention. It's all about focusing and planning. Creating a plan and setting goals is the key to creating the motivation you need in your life to get to where you want to go, to reach a life of your dreams, a life full of accomplished goals. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, motivation comes from only 2 places: outside of ourselves or inside of ourselves. And if we have to depend on the rest of the world to give us the motivation we need, it's going to run out pretty quickly. So let's start building the motivation we need inside ourselves by learning how to set goals the right way and plan properly with implementation of intention. Once you start finding motivation inside yourself, ladies and gentlemen, you'll never lack the drive you need to build the motivation to go where you want to go. I'm Chase Corrington, and this is the Chase Corrington YouTube channel, where we seek to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment, where we seek to discover the hidden wisdom of the ages. And we'll bring you motivation, motivational mornings, and many more interesting topics to throw your way. I'm going to be trying to do a weekly show, get it set down to a specific day. I'm thinking maybe Motivational Mondays, although this is a Thursday. Maybe we'll do 2 shows a week. Got some planning in the works. I've been working on CLC paint. I've been doing quite a bit of painting and a little bit of video recording on that, so eventually I can release videos on my CLC Paint YouTube channel. There's already a playlist on there, a full start to finish episodic, progression of a painting I did about a month ago. It's a waterfall sunset painting with a beautiful mountain background. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, seek to achieve and maintain happiness through enlightenment. Find motivation inside yourself. And if you get value, consider subscribing, smash the like, leave a comment below, and let me know how you stay motivated. Until then, until the future, we'll be back with more interesting topics to throw your way.